Beyond Mortal Boundaries, Chapter 11, Demon-Strators. It is most certainly true that the law made nothing perfect, yet the bringing of a better hope did. By that we draw near to Prime Creator. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 19. When Moses returned from Mount Sinai with the sacred revelations of Prime Creator, he found the people had thrown restrictions to the wind, defiling themselves in a wild, unrestrained hysteria. Such was the pattern of the heathens and of all the Christians who have not learned to walk with Prime Creator in a majesty of control and divine power. Miriam, who was 8 years older than Moses and his brother Aaron, who was 3 years older, assumed the leadership of the people after Moses had been absent longer than they thought proper. Both Miriam and Aaron assumed the responsibility of holding the people together. Then, to prove their right to such claims of leadership, they began to demonstrate their right of authority. They did it with the most righteous intentions, and those who gave them their support offered it as willingly as they had given their allegiance to Moses. In the sincerity of their misguided self-ego, they began to prove their powers in wild and unseemly demonstrations as they were carried along on a wave of abandon and uncontrolled hysteria. And they became subject to the Spirit and not the Spirit to them. Whatever power they could have been entrusted with was dissipated and squandered. It was wasted, and a spirit of self-acclaim and self-righteousness gained possession of them as they abandoned themselves to be used by the forces of darkness, as their ego selves responded to the momentary power they thought they were being edified by. This is still a weakness of mankind today, and there are churches that still encourage such heathen, unseemly displays, not realizing that the power of Prime Creator is only manifested in divine majesty. Many think they are being led by the Spirit as they hit the high pinnacle of an uncontrolled hilarity of spirit. Yet the road they travel is the road that is dictated by the little personal ego self as it gloats in the supposed greatness of itself. And these misguided ones are on that broad, open path that leads to destruction because they will die as their leaders before them have died and gone into the grave. This is yet one of the roads of that broad, open way that leads to destruction. And as those who are carried aloft on the tide of the wave of a false exhilaration soon find themselves down at the very bottom and wallowing in the depths of despondency. Their emotions are like the rising and falling of a yo-yo. This condition is not of Prime Creator. This false exhilaration, this shouting and uncontrolled manifestation, it is only the little ego self demonstrating its own imagined importance. And so were the Israelites of long ago led astray by the outward show of shouted acclamations. When Moses returned to find all of Israel swept along on this false tide of heathen worship, he dropped the sacred plates that Prime Creator had engraved with Prime Creator's finger, and they were shattered. They had constructed a golden calf as they had offered their treasures to the Lord. The calf was to symbolize their devotion and their love. It was supposed to represent the symbol of their adoration. Yet almost immediately the symbol became the reality, and they were worshiping the golden calf. In their wild abandon, they were led completely astray, even as man-professing Christians have been today. even as many professing Christians have been today, led astray. Prime Creator threatened to destroy the whole nation, yet Moses pleaded mightily for them. Finally, he said, "If they be destroyed, Lord, destroy me with them." And it was through Moses' pleading that Israel was given another chance, and Moses was given the responsibility of getting them back into disciplined order and control. The power of Moses, that was neither squandered nor dissipated, must have been terrific. He got the people back into line, then pounding their golden calf into dust, he made them drink it in their water. Under the power of Prime Creator, their shouting acclamations and contorting were revealed to be but the noise of profanity. After the people were brought to repentance and given an understanding of the power of Prime Creator, Moses returned to Mount Sinai. Again, Moses fasted 40 days and 40 nights as he waited on the mountain top for Prime Creator to reveal again the pattern for the people to accept and to live by. And according to the perfect translation of the record, it states, "And Prime Creator wrote with Prime Creator's finger, as Prime Creator had done before, yet not as Prime Creator had done before." The first time Prime Creator had given the people an unfolding of the great and mighty promises under that the patriarchs had lived through faith. The second time he did not write as he had done before. He wrote upon those 2 stone tablets the 10 commandments, or the laws. And the law came because of transgression. Galatians chapter 3, verse 19. The glorious promises of perfection and the way of their fulfillment were withheld. And because of the wickedness of the people, they were restrained under the law. And they have been under this restraint until this present day. Yet the law made no man perfect, and the law is for the wicked. Yet in this day of gross wickedness, this evil generation cannot even abide by the law. In Galatians, we are informed that the law is not of faith, and that no man is justified by the law, yet the law was given because of wickedness. We are also told that Abraham and the patriarchs of old lived not by the law, yet by the promises through faith. Then we are informed in Galatians chapter 5, verse 14, that all the law is fulfilled in one word: love. And the information is plainly revealed that anyone who perfects love is no longer under the law. Or, as Christ so perfectly revealed the power and meaning of the first and second great commandments, that any who lived these 2 wonderful laws had fulfilled all the laws and the prophets. So in perfecting love, one passes from under the iron rod of the law and goes on unto perfection, as Paul admonished in Hebrews chapter 6, verses 1 through 2. Then is given this holy information in Galatians chapter 5, verse 18. If ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. This led of the Spirit does not mean to be tossed about in an unseemly manner or in physical contortions or word displays, as the Spirit is permitted to rule until it goes completely out of bounds, as it did with the children of Israel. The Spirit leads one gently and lovingly into the pattern of pure perfection, as one learns to hold the Spirit in subjection. Then only can one be given power. If one has not learned to hold the Spirit in control by divine discipline and holy majesty, the power is squandered. It is dissipated and utterly wasted, except for the feeding of the pride-filled little ego. The power can never be truly held by those who are always demonstrating the supposed greatness of their own little mortal ego selves. Then, Paul says in Galatians chapter 5, verse 19, Now the works of the flesh are these, and Paul explains what the works of the flesh are, and to his list is to be understood that any unseemly demonstrations that shame the majesty and the divinity of Prime Creator's power are included. In verse 22, Paul explains that the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And we are told definitely that man will be known by his fruits, not by his gifts. This word meekness